Hello there my fellow holotable heroes, and welcome to a brand new Conquest video guide. You will be able to find these and all my other Conquest guides on my SWGOH Life website, along with my daily plan and other amazing and useful Conquest features, so go ahead, check it out, link in description below. So in this one I will be showing you some of the themes that I used here in Sector 1 to get progress towards both global and sector feats. I'll do a separate video as always for the mini boss. Oh boy, mini boss is crazy, spoiler alert, and final boss battles as well. That video will follow shortly after this one. Here we're just focusing on the sector and global feats. So let's just first look at the feats that we have here in Sector 1 in case you do need a refresher. So we have to win 14 battles with a full squad of resistance. Then we have to gain We Adapt or Die 50 times, so only Iden does that, and it's also a conditional one. More about it later, so quite limited what you can use there. Defeat 14 enemies with SWGOH Hera, and then attempt to inflict damage over time 500 times. Now this sounds a lot, but I was able to get it done in my first playthrough here of Sector 1, because you know, Darth Vader, he's an absolute beast. Combination with what when it comes to damage over times. Okay, well, let's just kick off with some resistance battles. Now depending how your resistance is looking like, you can build up 3 full resistance squads. So again, you know, these feats shouldn't be hopefully too difficult. By the way, just giving you a first look at Finn and Zori squad. So it's quite good. I mean, maybe Grievous not the ideal lineup to go up against, but I was still able to get it to work. B2 gets his bonus turn meter, you knock him out. Grievous gets his bonus turn, then I was stuck behind Magna Guard, got him down as well, and then just able to line up there a mass assist on Grievous and finish him. Then of course you can do Rey Jedi training, I'll do that later on the Datacron Node, I think. And then here you can have Galactic Legend Rey if you do have her. Probably many of you now do have, because of the Lightspeed bundles. You can just throw leftover resistance with her, and you know, she can, at least here in Sector 1, pretty much carry the battle. Grievous is actually a good opponent to go up against just because of the bonus turn meter they gain. So eventually you do stack up your offense on your guys, so you can actually do some decent damage here, so no issues whatsoever to get through them. Then we have that SWGOH feat, probably the best one if you do have Jedi Master Luke. With what you put tank tech on what. Now if you do have voluntary Vanguard data disk, you don't need what, because Jedi Master Luke will get anyway then mark on himself, and enemies will have to hit him. So the idea here is just keep calling Saw here for an assist with inherited teachings, so he defeats all the enemies. I was able to line up all 5 of them on here. It's also nice that what, when he assists, he applies some damage over times, helping you with the damage over time feat. Speaking of damage over time, if you are doing a Rogue One, a Rebel squad, because remember we do have the global feat for the Rebels, 40 wins with Rebels, you can bring in, I brought in Bistan because on his basic I think he lands damage over times as well, so just a few extra damage over times. Probably you won't need them, but I just trying to put this team together to highlight you know, the units that can help you along the way, but obviously you can adapt as needed what you have. Raddus is great versus these Palpatine Empire squads, just because obviously of the days that he applies for his leadership. Then we have the global feat for the Mandalorians. In terms of sector feat, I guess only Beskar Mando on his basic he's applying damage over times. So that will actually a little bit help you with the Sector 1 feat. But otherwise this is purely for global feat purposes. Was able to nuke out there Canderous. Obviously this is still a start of Sector 1 Conquest, so I don't have that great data discs yet. Obviously once we do get built up all our data discs, looks like they're basically the same as before, with Amplify Agony and Volatile Accelerator being the stars of our data disc collection again. We should be able to, you know, get things going better later in other sectors, but for now, you know, these guys were still able to get it done. Again, if you're struggling to get something done, spoiler alert, there's a Bad Batch node again at the end for the Datacron node, which, you know, we were already cheesing for the past 2 Conquest volumes, getting all those, you know, low gear feats done. and damage over times. Now Sidious there isn't all that helpful. Probably Malak would be better in that slot, but again, same as with Bistan, I just want to highlight some of the units here that can help you with damage over times along the way. You don't have to use them. Also, General Skywalker, probably not the best opponent to go up against with his squad, but I was still surprised that I was actually able to get something to work. General Skywalker there, nuking out Vader, let's see, nuking out Palpatine, but we almost got him though, almost got him. Hey, there you go. Sidious was actually useful here, dealing the finishing blow. Of course, if you have Lord Vader, he'll be even better for damage over times. He's just putting so many out there, bringing Darth Vader and Watt as well for damage over times. And actually Kylo Ren, the OG one, on his basic, he also lands damage over time. So, you know, again, just a little bit of help, I guess. He's unaligned Force user, so he does kind of go together with Lord Vader. And then Ninth Sister, she also can land damage over times as well. And now we have We Adapt or Die feat. Now, this ability is very conditional. Like if there are any other allies that have leader tag, she will not apply this We Adapt or Die. So basically you have to go pretty much with her as the leading slot and all the other non-leader Imperial troopers. Again, once you do have like Amplify Agony, Ruthless Swiftness even in there, this should be much easier. It also didn't help that Grand Inquisitor let an ability block on my Iden, so when she got a turn, she wasn't able to use her We Adapt or Die. So just trying to stall the battle, get her a turn. There we go. Was able to use it once, but wasn't able to stall long enough to use it a second time. So this is only 5 now occurrences. I applied it 5 times only, so I still have 45 to go. But in most cases, hopefully you should be able to get it out at least twice. And then of course we do have a Rebel feat as well, so same thing, just chucking in Bistan, same as with Raddus there, just so he can use his basic, apply some damage over times. If you need that feat still, if your Raiders took care of it, then obviously you don't need to use Bistan in there at all. Just highlighting that you can use. I've been getting a lot of General Grievous teams in this one, and a lot of Huxes, so lots of these kind of teams that are hard to get going because of their turn meter and Hux preventing turn meter gains, but you know, still able to get something done. And I do have my Phoenix now built up a little bit, so I'm like, do you know what? Another Grievous team, am I right? Oh man, it's just crazy. I was just able to give these guys a go. I haven't really used them a whole lot anywhere, so just see if we can actually get something going. So far they are hanging in there. We got the first unit down. Now B2 is out in the open, so we can just keep going. At this point I already picked up Volatile Accelerator data disc as well, so this will be helping out with landing damage over times. But obviously Grievous, once he does get below 100% health, he will just cleanse those off. But let's see if we can get, there we go, messes this line up, getting Grievous down. And then we have that global Veers and Piett feat. So the idea here is not to use Arc Trooper, because you know he'll do all the damage then, but you can actually put their mark over on Veers with Piett when he gets a turn. And then at any time Piett uses a basic, he will call Veers for assist, and eventually obviously we will start doing some damage here with Emperor's Trap. Stacking, I decided to do days first just to make sure these sisters don't gain bonus turn meter. There we go, finished off Daka, so she doesn't bring anybody back, and then we can just keep going. Maybe you could try and cheese it, let Daka keep reviving, but I don't know. You never know when these sisters they get rolling. So I'm just trying to line up the hits with Veers and Piett. Looks like Talia's quite low there, so I'll just let her be. Let's get some buffs. Now I can line up a hit here. There we go, Piett got a kill there. Can just lining up next sister. Sure, let's do an AoE. Let's lock in the days. Do you know what? Let's do a basic. There we go. Piett got another one down. Let's see if we can line up one more. Fortunately not, but still in this battle I was able to get the Veers and Piett to line up 3 hits, so not too bad. Again, Once we get better at this, I'm sure we'll figure out some more efficient cheese, but in the meantime, you know, you can still line something up. I was really hoping for a return of Zealous Ambition data this time, but doesn't look like they are here, because both Piett and Veers are support. So if you could get that built up, you know, they could be doing a lot of damage. I remember doing like 300k hits, so that could be much easier to get this done, but you know, we'll figure something out. Otherwise, until then, 2-3 kills per battle at a time, I guess. Now I want to talk about Datacron Nodes as well, because actually CG really introduced this nicely. Didn't mention it, it's a bit of a surprise, but we have 3 Datacron Nodes here with different enemies, at least in Sector 1. So just a standard Bad Batch node that we had previously, so you can easily cheese a lot of it versus these guys. And then if you look at then, we have a Hux team without Sith Trooper, just over prepared one. They give you some Mark 1 materials. Again, probably a good team to cheese something up against. And then Bounty Hunters, Thrill of the Hunt, no over prepared. And the rewards they're giving is Mark 2 and Mark 1. Very low quantities, but at least something, right? So definitely looks like CG, you know, did us a favor here, gave us a free, slow, or relatively slow enemies that we can farm our feats here for both Sector 1 and Global feats. So obviously we'll be revisiting the cheese video at the end, see what's left, what still needs cheesing. But this time, as you can see, these guys are relatively slow, so we can get something going, get some assists. And at this point, I already picked up Amplify Agony as well. So as you can see, we're doing a lot of damage because of Amplify Agony. Nisa there, whenever she, because of her unique, I think whenever somebody attacks out of a turn, we are like applying damage, extra damage over times. So this really, Nisa really works nicely together with this damage over times and everything. So it's pretty cool. Getting Bad Batch down, so you know, probably that's what I'll be doing all my Ewoks battles pretty much here on this Bad Batch node. I picked up some credits there, I guess, not bad. Let's go ahead and hop into the second node, see how this one is like. So we got a Hux. Maybe, you know, if you don't have a solid first order unit, first order squad, you could farm on either of these nodes. So just randomly said, you know what, let's do a Hux mirror match. But you know, obviously you could do it on a Bad Batch node, you could do it versus Bounty Hunters, depending obviously of how your speed line up versus the enemy speeds. All right, so I'm just gonna bring up my Hux team here. I'm just kind of splitting the good first order units and leaving the leftovers for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, because you know, he can carry the battles in most cases, so I can do then more first order battles if I need to. You know what, no Sith Trooper on the enemy side, don't have to worry about, you know, big AoEs coming on my way. I'll just go ahead, take him down, and now we just have to deal with Hux. I don't want to deal with counterattacks right now. Let's get first order Executioner out, give turn order to Kylo. We can go ahead, stun Hux, finish him, and at this point, obviously, it's going to be an easy win here. So again, another looks like a reasonably easy node for farming different feats, whatever you need. So you can just, whenever you're doing your feat farming here, just choose which rewards you want when it comes to these. And let's look at the final node with the Bounty Hunters. Now this one potentially could be good for something like Veers and Piett kills, because we got 3 Bounty Hunters with Bounty Hunters Resolve, so you actually got 8 kills to be had here. So I think this could be potentially a good target for Veers Piett cheese to quickly knock this out. But otherwise, you know, you can also farm your resistance feat here in Sector 1. You just start running circles around this with Ray Jedi training, constant bonus turn meter gains and everything, so shouldn't be too difficult. You know, even their lower gear slower, because BB-8 gives just so much turn meter to your droids to begin with. You can quickly get rolling. And then the last 5th one, I just put Resistant Trooper in there, but can be really anybody. He just has so much synergies with exposes and everything that, you know, he really helps out the team a lot. I think with all the turns he's getting. Not a lot of material, but if you're farming feats, get a little bit of extra, why not? Speaking of feats, let me show you the progress I made after playing through Sector 1 today. So we got Saw Gerrera nearly done, maybe a couple of more battles, and that should be knocked out. Also making good progress towards the resistance. I can just now come back to these Datacron nodes and just farm this every day. Same thing with we adapter. I can just come back with Iden, do a few battles here on the Datacron nodes and knock that out as well. Alright guys, hopefully this video was useful and helpful, just showing you some of the teams here that I used. Obviously I'll be doing the same video for sector 2 and other sectors, but hopefully I'll see you in the sector 1 mini boss and final boss video shortly. Thank you for watching, I'll see you on the next one, but until then have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.